Hello, everyone. I am Adam, the Chief Development Officer for Demiplane, and I am here for this week's development update and community Q&A session. Really excited about everything that we have in store for today. As always, I like to give you a little preview of what's happening. So today's lineup, we are going to start with those latest updates. So we had a release yesterday with some bug fixes and some welcome news for international fans of Pathfinder. And then we'll go through the upcoming, again, reiterating our early access roadmap. And then, as you can see, it is all redacted out, but we have a special announcement that I tweeted about yesterday that 15-year-old Adam just would not believe is happening, but it is happening. So, really excited to share this news today. And I have a special guest. And if I told you who that special guest was, it would ruin the surprise. So, you're going to have to be just pleasantly surprised when this individual joins me a little bit later in the stream. And then we will end with a little bit of time to ask me anything. So you can go ahead and start asking those questions now. And that reminds me, I am checking to be sure that I am actually collecting questions. So, yes, everything is turned on and ready to go. So, if you have a question, you can ask that by typing question in front of it, and our magical technology is going to collect it, and I will get to any of those that we have at the end. So let's jump right in here with our latest update. So, international payments are now available in early access for Pathfinder Nexus. So, if you live outside the United States or Canada and you've been wanting to check out the early stages of the digital reader, you can pre order on Pathfinder Nexus now. So, you can go in there. The checkout flow should be working. Of course, as always, let us know if anyone runs into issues. But international payments are available for all the countries outside the U.S. and Canada. So get in there and start checking out some of the early Pathfinder Nexus content. We also have a couple of bug fixes that are iPhone related. You will probably hear me over the weeks and months and possibly years, hopefully years, that we're doing these things and giving you updates. I'm going to try my best to keep the frustration out of my voice with, iPhone browsers, but iPhone browsers do a lot of weird things. And so we tightened up some search issues that we were having on iPhone. And we're continuing on all of those kinds of tweaks that are helping us get everything where it needs to be here during early access in preparation for our full launch of Pathfinder Nexus in this winter is when that target is. So I guess we can look at whatever the last day of winter and assume that our target is. We're trying to get that full launch out before then. So we'll keep everyone posted as we go along. The work in progress is tooltips. So we have been pouring through all of the currently released books in early access, which are all of the rule books that are available for Pathfinder. And we have tool tipping that is going on right now. And we're starting with spells, and we're going to introduce all of the other game elements that we can throughout early access here. So I hope to have more on tooltips very soon, but the team is working very hard on that. And before too much longer, you're going to get to take those tooltips out for a spin and provide your feedback and make sure that we're hitting the mark on everything that we need to do there. And then we are also in parallel working on getting Lost Omens content added. So I'm pretty sure the first book that we're going to release there is the excellent The Mwangi Expanse, and that is going to be coming soon. And so we will keep you posted and updated as we go along with that too. So let's move to upcoming. And as always, I'm reiterating what our early access phases are here. And so, first, we do have our digital reader that is available now in early access. You can try out the free Pathfinder primer to see what that digital reader looks like. You can also pre order and get access to any of the other rule books out there. And I just talked about tooltips. That's one of the enhancements that we're making in the digital reader currently. And we will be following that up before too much longer with compendium listings And this is where you can go and use advanced filters, search, find spells that require concentration, in addition to some other complicated filter that you want to find. So it really is just a great way to find what you're looking for when you need it. That will be the next phase that's introduced. And then, of course, the cornerstone of what we are putting together here as the initial launch of Pathfinder Nexus, which is character management, the character builder and interactive digital character sheet. We are really in the concept phase of that right now. We had a meeting this morning where we're talking about the character builder and how that's coming together. And it's hard not to just leave those meetings with a giant smile on my face. Really, really excited about how all of that is coming together. We're going to be working on that in the next few months here as well, and we'll introduce that as soon as it's ready to start getting feedback on the character management piece too. So all of that, nothing's changed. After we get Lost Omens content in place, we will start moving to adventures, likely standalone adventures first, and then we will start tackling all of the adventure paths. So before early access ends and before the full launch of what we're doing here with Pathfinder Nexus, you're going to be able to access all of the adventure content on Pathfinder Nexus, and that's going to kind of be the last leg of the content additions that we're going to be making. And then upcoming, I will also mention that we have The Claw Firm, and I am forgetting the subtitle to the show right now, but it was a great subtitle. But we have a stream coming together with some incredible talent that we've shared with you previously, they are all playing kind of animal related characters. And I am assuming from the name, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be making these assumptions because this is kind of, breaking from the mind of Mark Meir, who is one of my favorites out there. But I'm assuming it's going to have something to do with, legal drama or something. So anyway, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with this show as we continue to develop it. And that should be out in Q1. We're really, really looking forward to it. All right. I think the time has come. We've gone through our updates for Pathfinder Nexus, and now we have a very special announcement that I am really looking forward to. So if everybody, out there can do the drum roll, like pat your legs, whatever, we are about to share a little glimpse at, something else that Demiplane is working on. So roll the footage.
Will come to realize that the blood is your master. You are being consumed from within. You won't feel it at first, but slowly, humanity will become a distant memory. You will know that you lived as them, but it will fade like a dream. You will only have the memory of a memory until you are a slipshod effigy of who you were. The beast within will wear your skin as long as it gets fed.
All right. I think that we have such an exciting announcement today. World of Darkness Nexus, the official digital tool set for World of Darkness tabletop role-playing games that includes Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse that's coming, as well as the recently announced Hunter the Reckoning. Really, really thrilled. And I am joined by a very special guest, one of my favorites out there, Jason Carl. How you doing, Jason?
Hi, Adam. Thanks very much to you and Demiplane for having me here today. I have risked sunlight for you to do this and for the Demiplane community. So take that as a gesture of how excited I am to be here today with you and to talk about World of Darkness Nexus.
I really appreciate you putting yourself in that kind of danger, Jason. And I could not be more thrilled to be working with World of Darkness. And I first played when I was 15 years old with the wonderful kind of revival that started back in those days.
Mhm.
And I remember that I was immediately sucked in with this concept of the different clans. Just what you could tell about Vampire at that time, and then of course branched out to play the other games as well. But there was just something so different feeling about what was happening in these games, and it was like you just immediately were almost like forced in a good way to pay attention to the world and the lore of what's going on. So, one of the things that I'm curious about with you is because I've heard you talk about this before, and it's just so eloquent. What do you think sets World of Darkness apart? What separates it from some of the other tabletop role playing games out there?
Well, I mean, I could talk about the rules system. I could talk about the clan differentiation for vampire, or the tradition differentiation for mage, or any of those mechanical underpinnings of the world. But I think the biggest distinction for the World of Darkness, what makes it World of Darkness uniquely so, is its perspective and the stories that perspective allows us to tell with each other at the table. You are the monster, and through that lens we explore what happens when the monsters are real, and the only thing holding them in check is what's left of our humanity. And that usually works until it doesn't, and that's when the fun begins to happen. And I think that perspective, that lens that we look at the world through, that monster lens, is what makes it so intriguing to us all. You are compelled, as you said, to examine the world through a very different set of eyes. No longer human, no longer your own, but through something more than and less than human at the same time. And those stories, I think, resonate deeply with us, especially today as the world changes so rapidly around us. World of Darkness has as much to say about who we are as humans now as it ever did, I think. Oh, plus, there are vampires, werewolves,
Yeah,
demons, changelings.
that was one of the
Those are
things that
cool too.
I was going to interject there, is that it really came down to, for me, again, just I remember agonizing the first time that I played, just agonizing over which clan I was going to choose. I mean, I genuinely, I had the book, and I didn't even own the book at the time because I was not very well off when I was a kid, and so somebody had bought the book, and I just begged, like, "Hey, can I take this with me until the next time that we play?" And I remember, taking it home, and that thing was attached to my hip for that entire week before we got together to play again. And I read just top to bottom everything about every one of the clans, and just agonizing over what I was eventually going to play. And I chose Gangrel eventually. And
Just
so
Gangrel.
yeah, I still have a soft spot for Gangrel, but I appreciate many of the others as well, and I've played the others. But yeah, I think that it's just something about everything that you said there with the storytelling focus, and the world itself, and almost this feeling that the world, and especially the beast, it is almost like its own character in a way, like some of those great TV shows where we say, oh,
Yeah.
the ship is a character, and all that. But there is just something about it too that is just so cool. Like when you step back from some of those things that are probably the root cause of this effect, it's just, you're like, it is so cool to play a vampire. It is so cool to play this werewolf. And so yeah, we genuinely are so excited about World of Darkness, and with my experience and background, seeing what digital support can do for these games.
Absolutely.
This is a game that I want to play so badly, and I can't wait to play it with this kind of digital support.
I think that it's really appealing when we look through the books the World of Darkness tabletop role-playing game books to realize this is a world of dark mysteries, and you are one of those mysteries. You are part and parcel of this world. You probably didn't have any choice about it, and now you get to explore those dark mysteries, layers of conspiracy, but also very immediate and personal stories on the micro scale, which I also love. That I think drive a lot of drama at the table. Yeah, obviously, it's a very narrative-focused, story-focused, character-focused world, and I'm excited that we're going to get these amazing digital tools to tell those stories in a new way.
Yeah, I think about so much of the time when you start, begin your journey with a character in a
Mm,
tabletop role playing game, and you are going into the cellar to kill some rats, and that is a great experience, and I love
it is.
that in so many
We all
games.
love that.
But there is just something about, again, I love the way that you put that, that you are this dark mystery. And that positioning of your character just really really sets World of Darkness apart. And again, I could not be more excited about what's to come with this partnership. Thank you for being here. I wanted to kind of leave here. I don't want to tie up too much of your time because I know you've got wheeling and dealing to do. As a vampire lord, all those things are going on for you.
It's
But
true. There are conspiracies within conspiracies, and then there's this sunlight thing. I mean, the elder fortitude is going to last only so long.
that's exactly right. So, with that, what of the things that you can talk about,
Mm.
what would you say you are most excited to see that are, coming on the horizon for World of Darkness?
Good question. There is a long list, so let me try to be representative. Um, I think many of your members of your community might know that we just wrapped up our first official streaming Vampire Chronicle LA by Night. After 5 seasons in 3 years, we said farewell to these characters, at least for now. Oh, thank you. Uh, Trying to bring that story to a conclusion was like trying to land a Zeppelin on a postage stamp, I think. But we've said farewell, and now it's time to get ready for what's next, which is New York by Night, a completely different look at the World of Darkness with new characters, new stories, a different city, and we'll switch that monster perspective lens over to the Big Apple and dive into those dark mysteries next year. I can't give you a release date yet, but as soon as I can, I will share it. After that, I think Hunter the Reckoning, 5th edition, is something I'm very, very excited about. That TTRPG is coming at us next year also. And
I mean, to be honest, that is the game in World of Darkness where you get to be the bad guys. Because let's all be honest, the hunters are the bad guys, right?
absolutely right. I think it's really cool to flip that perspective and to look at the World of Darkness through the lens of people who have been humans, ordinary mortals, who have been affected by it in some way. They've seen something they shouldn't, they've experienced something they didn't want to, and now they're stuck with that knowledge, and they decide, I have to do something about this because nobody else will. And I think those stories are really, really fun to play. Whether you're joining a group of hunters operating out of somebody's garage, going after werewolves armed with broomsticks and chainsaws, or you're hunting down a vampire that's stalking the neighborhood, using your van as a home base. There's so many stories you can tell with Hunter that are terrific. I'm looking forward to that. After that, of course, Werewolf, the Apocalypse 5th edition is still in development. I'm really excited about telling those stories today because, of course, Werewolf has a lot to say about the world around us right now. Very compelling, very timely stories about what's happening right now around us, right outside our doors and windows. Beyond that, we're looking forward to the release of Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, which is from our friends at Big Bad Wolf and Nacon. Big Bad Wolf developed the Council, which was a great conspiracy thriller video game story, and everything we've seen so far from Swan Song makes us super excited that this team is bringing that particular skill set to the world of darkness, to vampires in particular. I could go on, but I don't want to burn the.
Nobody wants to hear me answer questions. If you just want to keep spilling beans, then by all means, Jason.
Well, that's what I can. That's what I can tell you, and I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
There are for everything we talk about, there are many more things in development that we can't yet. And that's
And
of course
it's great to hear that World of Darkness, has those kind of plans, and that the brand is alive and well, and just really thriving. And again, we could not be more excited to bring this kind of digital support to World of Darkness. I can't wait to personally have a very professional excuse to play these games more than I'd even do today. So really, really looking forward to it. Jason, I am going to let you go and get out of this sunlight. But I really,
I'm feeling a little crisp around the edges.
Yeah, I really appreciate you joining me. I can't wait for what lies ahead. But before you leave, if you would like to tell everybody, your little outro here and where they can maybe find you.
Oh, sure. I'm easy to stalk online because I use the same name everywhere. It's Vampires, the letter N, and Vino, as in wine. Vampires and Vino, and I am there everywhere that you may be accessing the interwebs. I'm really easy to find and really easy to approach. I try to answer as many questions as I can. I get so many that sometimes it takes me time, but I do try to get to them. And I think that's probably the best thing about what I do as the brand marketing manager for the World of Darkness, is I get to interact with this community every day and see the passion, the enthusiasm for these dark mystery stories and this monster perspective coming to life in so many different ways. The creativity in the community is astonishing, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
We love the family. All right. Thanks so much, Jason. We will see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Demiplane.
All right. We're going to make a transition here, and I am going to throw our producer, who happens to be Peter, our CEO. He's doing such a great job with this. We're a small company, folks. I'm going to throw him a little bit of a curveball here, and I'm going to see if he could maybe do a little encore of the trailer. Maybe do an encore of the trailer real quick, because I know that we've picked up a lot of other viewers since that dropped. So let's see if we can do the trailer again if you happen to miss it the first time.
Will come to realize that the blood is your master. You are being consumed from within. You won't feel it at first, but slowly, humanity will become a distant memory. You will know that you lived as them, but it will fade like a dream. You will only have the memory of a memory until you are a slipshod effigy of who you were. The beast within will wear your skin as long as it gets fed.
All right. So I appreciate everyone letting us play that again. We really love that trailer, and love that we are going to get to dive into World of Darkness. Genuinely can't wait for it. We're going to jump to questions now with as much time as we have left. I might go a little over the 30-minute mark today since we had this special announcement. But going to jump into questions here. So, got a question from Darger or Dar Jr. Sorry if I am butchering that, but I think I've seen you on N-World, so I think I recognize you there. But what would be your favorite next Nexus? So I love this question because you are fishing for information that I can't share yet. And you're also asking me, to choose between like favorite children. So, this is an impossible question to answer. So, what I will say is we are really, really excited about bringing high quality digital support to so many of the really great games out there. And that includes Pathfinder. We love what's going on with Pathfinder Nexus. Can't wait to get deeper into the development of that. Can't wait for World of Darkness Nexus that's going to come out next year as well. And, keep your ears open, your eyes peeled for some other exciting things on the horizon as well. This is a good place to see some of that info as it is coming out. So, Rex Verity, what is your go to brand of sweet tea in the unlikely event we ever meet? I want to have your brand on hand. So, I have to say that my favorite is going to be something that probably doesn't exist anywhere outside of the small area where I'm from. But there's actually a to-go steak place called Stakeout that has really good sweet tea. So that's probably my go-to. But outside of that, I can do Milo's. It's not my favorite, but I certainly like the Golden Peak that has the extra sugar in it. So that would be it. I don't expect you to have that on hand if we ever meet, though. It will be well enough if we just meet and you say hello. That will be enough for me. All right, that gamer share. Are there any future plans for Demiplane's presence at any live events? For sure. We have been in the middle of a pandemic for much longer than we should have been as a human race. And we are certainly looking forward to 2022, where we are going to hopefully be in a better place as a society and we can really jump back into doing some of these live events. So we absolutely will have live event participation planned. That's going to take on a variety of forms next year, but you will see us at shows, and we can't wait to say hello to everyone. All right, let's see. Steph Tide Ripper. Will the character builder be available in December 2021? So I am assuming that you're talking about the character builder for Pathfinder Nexus, because we're saying that World of Darkness Nexus will be available next year. And no, we do not anticipate the character builder entering early access this calendar year. But if you're trying to, read the tea leaves and understand, like, we do have a target that we are hoping that we get character management into early access this winter. So that is what we're looking at now. I guess that butts all the way up against what, April 15th or whatever that would be. But I am telling you that we are trying to target. Things don't always go as planned. We're also going to have to listen to feedback in the community. So as we introduce some of the other elements of the tool set, if it's not doing the trick, if it's not scratching the itch, we're going to have to take that time to make sure that it's solving the problems that those things need to solve. But our current plans are hopefully the early part of next year we're going to be able to introduce character management. Steph Tide Ripper again, will the character builder have options to export to things like Roll20 and Foundry? We certainly are keeping those kinds of things in mind as we are putting it together. I know from my past life that there are a variety of tools that will do the trick for those kinds of things. And we understand that if we don't directly supply those avenues, that they will be supported and built within the community. And so what I'll say there is, I'm not saying confirming either way, because we haven't finalized all the plans there yet. But what I would say is that it is a very safe bet that that capability will exist one way or another as we go forward. All right, Shinobi 233. Any RPG franchise that you want to see on Demiplane? I fear that my answer here is going to tip my hand too much, and so I probably won't get into it too much. I can tell you that two of my absolute favorites we have already shared with you and announced here with Pathfinder and World of Darkness games. And so, we are a small company, as I mentioned earlier. We've got a lot of passionate people that have come together to do some really, really cool things. And so I will say that as we're making decisions over which games that we're targeting for this kind of support, we absolutely bring to bear our personal preferences and our passion for these games into it, because I also know that unless we are very passionate about what we're making, it's not going to do the trick. And so it's a great question in that it's the right way to think about things, that yeah, we're going to be pulling in games that we ourselves love to play and that we're very passionate about, but we'll share more as we have more details down the road. Burt Reynolds Esquire, love that username. Are there any ways to get more involved in the development effort as a programmer? We might hire periodically, so that's one way that it could happen. If you're an all-star, then get that resume ready. But in the future, we will see how that goes as far as community development programs. All of those things are not outside of the realm of possibility, but we don't have any other details to share on that yet. Manuel J. Solis J. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. Are you going to have Vampire the Requiem support? So we are certainly going to target the current editions of what's going on with World of Darkness. Vampire 5th edition. And I believe that we are also calling what's happening with the other couple of announced games a 5th edition as well. So that is where we are going to start. I would never say never, but we don't currently have plans for that. Sorry, I might have clicked the same one here. Let's see. Prince Lucretia, right? Is there going to be any COD support? Now, I am assuming. I'm trying to think of what that could be, because I know that can't be Call of Duty. Because no, we're not going to support Call of Duty. So I may be missing something with the acronym there that I'm not thinking of. I'm scouring my mind for games there. The answer is I probably couldn't tell you yet anyway, if it has not been publicly announced through one of these dev updates. So if you want to clarify, that's fine, but I'm probably going to tell you I can't say yet. D. Koffler, are there any plans for mobile version of Demiplane, if only for the voice video chat functionality? We are certainly going to. Chronicles of Darkness. Chronicles of Darkness. That makes sense. And thanks for that clarification. And nothing that we can share on that front yet. No current plans. We're going to be focusing on what's happening with the games themselves, but again, not outside the realm of possibility. Mobile version of Demiplane, if only for the voice video chat functionality. So we do have a mobile app that is in development. We will share more about that during the course of early access for Pathfinder Nexus and some of the other games that we are going to be supporting. At this point in time, voice and video chat on mobile has some challenges to it. And so there are several reasons that, many voice and video companies out there, especially if they do other things outside of video and voice, that they don't integrate those things because you have UI concerns and everything else. What I will say is we are looking into ways that we can, potentially do that in the future, but definitely nothing concrete at this point in time. That's, one of those things that we have not solved at this point. But again, not saying that we, couldn't figure that out in the future once we are able to place some priority on it. So it's something that we're circling. No other concrete details yet. Roll for Persuasion. I know that guy. What is the best clan and why is it Ventrue? Boo hiss, boo hiss. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. All right. WAD news. I'm assuming World of Darkness news. Will it be like a mix of D&D Beyond and Roll20, or am I off target there? So what I will say is that it will absolutely include many of the tools that you might be familiar with on some of those other platforms. What we are focusing on with World of Darkness Nexus is, really empowering the story and empowering the rules. So you will have a digital reader that has integrated tooltips and annotations, those sorts of things. You will have a compendium where you can find out everything that you'd want to know about clans in a single aggregated place, all the disciplines, everything else that you would use in these games in a searchable, filterable format, and then character management. And for World of Darkness, we have some other special things in mind that we're not ready to talk about yet, but some pretty unique and interesting things just because of the way that world works that we will share more about in the future when that time comes. But also all of this is happening on Demiplane, and Demiplane has this foundational element of Demiplane portals where people can come together and connect and find games, find other players to play in your games. You can also come together in those portals and chat with each other with persistent chat. No more of this, the chat goes away after you log out of the video call. All of that can happen in the play space on Demiplane that we call the Demiplane that you're coming together with as a group. And so all of that will be fully integrated into that. So you can be in the middle of that video call and you can pull out a sidebar that has all the book content in it, for instance. So all of those things work, and are integrated with Demiplane itself. And I love that that's the bedrock and the starting point for how we can layer on these digital tools on top of that foundation. And so we are not going to have necessarily what you would succinctly call a VTT from the standpoint of maps and tokens and some of those elements. We think that there are a lot of great VTTs out there that are really, really covering that ground very well right now. What we have seen in the past, and the pandemic in particular has really demonstrated, is that theater of the mind play and using tools like Zoom or Discord has seen a tremendous increase. And so many groups are coming together, and even if they're using virtual tabletops, they're using it through a screen share in a Zoom call, those sorts of things. And so Demiplane is not currently, we have no current plans to do anything specifically as a VTT, but we do see that as being able to exist alongside of that, where you can use a VTT if you want to. You can screen share it with your group. You can use the video and chat functionality of everything that's going on in Demiplane. So that's what will be happening for World of Darkness Nexus and any other Nexus that we introduce in the future. Chris Baja, we'll get through. We've got a few more questions here, so I'm going to try to run through them all real quick, and then we'll close out for today. Will you ever produce an everything so far bundle to get Pathfinder Nexus users up to speed? For sure. So we will have an ultimate bundle at some point in the future. We have not introduced that to this stage because it would be very forward looking, and we wouldn't even have those things available, those bits of content, the adventure paths and so on. We wouldn't have that in early access yet. So we don't want to have a scenario where we would have pre-orders without being able to have at least digital reader early access for that content. And so as that content starts coming together and we have the full catalog available, you will see different types of bundles being introduced, and you will get discounts based on the types of bundles. Now, what I can say is, that shouldn't discourage you from pre-ordering at this point in time, because we also will have previously purchased content credit. And that concept means that anything you spend on anything on Demiplane for these Nexus products, you will be able to get credit for whatever dollar you spend. So for every single dollar you spend, if a bundle is introduced in the future, and let's say that you already have pre-ordered 5 of the 6 books, then that discount will still be applied at that bundle level, and you will get credit for all of the money that you have put into those 5 products up to that point. So again, we're always going to give you credit for those dollars spent. and we will introduce bundles over time that will, I think, make a lot of sense to everybody with the different categories that we would have for bundles. All right, World of Darkness news, or WAD news. I don't know which you prefer. What is the time frame for the World of Darkness Nexus? So we're saying 2022, and that's about as specific as we can get right now. I would expect early access to happen, closer to the middle of the year than the end of the year, and that's about as much specificity as we can give right now. All of that is subject to change because this is software development, but it is something that is going to come next year, and we'll keep everyone posted. You can sign up for email updates on worldofdarknessnexus.com, or you can pay attention to these dev updates. Demiplane on social media. We will be sharing news as we have it in all of those places. Arkanbun, will the World of Darkness Nexus support solely video sessions or text roleplay as well? That is an incredible question that I love, and this is the kind of game, with World of Darkness games that really lend themselves to those sorts of things. And so, yes, you absolutely can play in video sessions. The idea there is we would have character sheets, lore sheets, the different game compendium information integrated in a way where it can be accessible to you while you're playing those sessions. So you can play in video. You also can play, with video turned off and fully through text. We also have a play by post section of our forums that over time will become more robust. So we're going to be looking for opportunities to do all of those things. All right. Let's see. Winterborn, do you think if you were to work with Palladium products, it would streamline combat, since combat takes forever in that system? That's a question probably for what's going on with World of Darkness and/or Renegade as they're putting these games together. But I would love to talk with you over a drink sometime about the pros and cons of all those things. But we won't do that right now. Let's see, just a couple more and then we can close out. Will the WAD Nexus support solely? Oh, sorry, that's a duplication. No worries there. The Games Tavern, is Nexus located in Huntsville, Alabama, and how does that impact the speed of development with all those PhDs around if you are? So yeah, lots of PhDs here in Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City. But what I will say is our corporate headquarters is in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in a place called Titletown that is right outside of Lambeau Stadium, Lambeau Field up there. And so basically headquartered in Green Bay, we have a presence here in Huntsville, Alabama as well. But we are a distributed company at this point. I think most software companies have had to go that way, in the recent past. All right, and so I think we got one more from Darger, going to GaryCon. The plan is to go to GaryCon, but we'll have more details about that in the future. All right, we're going to close out there. Thanks so much for your time today. Thanks for all of the questions. It looks like I got through them all, and we really appreciate you being here. We couldn't be more excited to announce World of Darkness Nexus coming in 2022, and keep your eyes peeled everywhere where Demiplane is for Pathfinder Nexus updates in early access as well. We will talk to you next week. Later, Gators.